This is about leadership from the point of view of the whole person. And it's based on decades of research that me and my team have done at the Wharton School, starting in the early 90s, late 80s, early 90s. We went out into the field to real organizations and looked at real people's lives who were successful to see what is it that they do to find harmony and success in the different parts of their lives. A few years after that, when we had started developing our ideas and testing them, I was asked by the chief executive, the CEO of Ford Motor Company, to join their company. And so I left my faculty position for 2.5 years, and I was the head of leadership development at Ford Motor Company worldwide. And it was there, almost 20 years ago now, where we created this model of leadership that was about how you grow as a leader in all the different parts of your life, and we called it total leadership. And this is what I want to introduce to you today. I want to invite you to consider how you can use these ideas to make the world a more human, closer, harmonious place for you, for the people around you. So let's start by thinking about leadership. What does it mean to you? When I ask you, what kind of leadership is needed in the world today? What words or phrases come to mind? What do you think of when I say, what kind of leadership do we need now? En inglés, por favor. Una pregunta.
Decisive.
Decisive. Okay. Vale. Pardon?
Inspiring.
Inspiring. What is it that inspires you, inspires people around you? We will talk about that. It's a very important idea. Decisive, inspiring. What else? Respect. Repítame. Respectful of all different kinds of people and recognizing that there are many different voices to be heard and to be spoken to. What else? Passionate. Passionate. This is an idea that I'm sure Richard Branson will be talking about and others throughout our time together over the next couple of days. What are you passionate about? Do you bring that to your life and work in a way that other people feel a connection to you? It's hard to do that. Not everyone is so fortunate to have that opportunity. But part of what I hope you will see in our time together is that you have more opportunity, more control, more discretion to choose how to use your attention, where to invest your heart, your spirit, in ways that bring passion to your work. All right, there are probably other ideas that you have. This is my goal here, is to provoke your thinking. This is my job, is to get you to think a little bit differently. And I want you to start to think about your concept of leadership, which I think of as simply mobilizing people toward goals that matter. How do you bring people along with you to a better place? But the landscape of leadership is now different than the landscape that was when I was a child or when I first started teaching at the Wharton School many years ago, over 30 years ago. What has changed? Very briefly, let's just look at how things have changed and why this new landscape calls for a different model of leadership. Well, among other things, there have been major shifts in society. We could talk about many aspects of that. One that I want to share with you has to do with a study that we did, and I wrote a book about this a few years ago, where we compared students who had graduated from the Wharton School in 1992, when we started doing this research, to the people who graduated in 2012, 20 years later. So we compare the Gen Xers to the millennials. We asked hundreds of questions about their lives, their careers, their hopes, and their dreams. One of the questions we asked was this: do you plan to have or adopt children? In 1992, 79% said, yes, that is my plan. Men and women. In 2012, same question, from the same school, same age group, 22 years old, graduating. In 2012, the same question, 42% said, yes, I plan to have children. A steep decline. Many new choices for men and for women about having families. I called this book Baby Bust because that is what we had observed. And it wasn't just students at my school, it was throughout the United States and the Western world. So I called this book Baby Bust because that's what we were describing. But it turns out that no one wants to buy a book called Baby Bust because it's depressing, right? Who wants to hear about people not having children? Well, this is just among the many changes that we see in our world. Another example of just change in how people think about their lives and their careers. I've been asking students now for years and years this simple question: do you plan to work in the same company when you graduate as when you retire? So back in the mid-1980s, what percentage do you think, what percentage of students, MBA students at the Wharton School said, yes, I plan to work in the same company my whole career? What percentage? 70%. That's it. It was 70%. Now, when I asked that same question to a group of 70 students in the introductory class on leadership at our MBA program not too long ago, how many of you plan to work in the same company your whole career? Very recently. How many hands do you think went up? Dos. And they were both heirs to major fortunes. Heredores de grandes fortunas. So things have changed in how people think about their connection to companies. There's also, of course, the digital age, which has transformed everything, and about which we will be speaking quite a bit these next couple of days. So I just want to check my email for a moment, if you don't mind. Oh. Espera, ¿qué? Wait, what? Oh, no. I was, of course, only kidding. But what was your emotional reaction to what I just did? How did you feel when I did that? Neglected, annoyed. But why? I'm here, I'm speaking. I was just looking at my smartphone for just a moment. You felt neglected, annoyed. But of course, you would never do that to someone else, right? No. Well, it is 2017, and it is still true that if you put your mind here, then your mind cannot be here. So, this is an important question that I will continue to ask you for the next hour or so. Where is your attention? What do you choose to invest your attention in? This has become a critical issue for us, all of us, as developing leaders. And when I look at you, I see developing leaders, people who are trying to grow their leadership capacity, which everyone, of course, can do. Where is your mind? Where is your attention? Well, there's globalization. There are many, many changes in the world that cause us to look at leadership in a different way. And this is what I bring to you. The idea that leadership at work isn't just about work. It's about life. It's about life. It's about your life as a whole. So what does that mean for you?